In the 1970s, Britain was a very different place. The streets looked older, the cities felt slower, and life had a certain weight to it that modern times have almost forgotten. But among all of this, there was one thing that truly stood out on British roads: luxury cars. These were not just vehicles. They were status symbols. They represented success, class, and a certain kind of British elegance that the world respected. From long chrome grilles to deep leather interiors, these cars defined what it meant to drive in style. In today's countdown, we are going back in time to explore 10 British cars that defined the 1970s. Cars that ruled the roads, turned heads, and are now almost impossible to find on UK streets. Let's begin. 10. Rover P6 3500, 1971, British Leyland. The Rover P6 3500 was one of the most respected executive cars of early 1970s Britain. It represented a bridge between old-world engineering and modern design thinking. Its exterior was sharp and geometric, almost architectural in shape. It didn't try to look aggressive or flashy. Instead, it looked intelligent and refined. That was its identity. Under the bonnet, the 3.5-liter V8 engine, borrowed from big design origins, gave it smooth and confident performance. It wasn't built for racing. It was built for control, comfort, and long-distance elegance. Inside, the cabin was designed with safety and practicality in mind. It had unusual but clever design choices for its time, including a modular dashboard layout. People respected the Rover P6 because it felt serious. It was the kind of car driven by civil servants, professionals, and people who valued quiet authority over attention. 9. Jaguar XJ Series I, 1968 to 1973. The Jaguar XJ Series I is often considered one of the most beautiful executive cars ever made in Britain. Even though it began production slightly before the 1970s, its presence dominated the entire decade. The design was low, wide, and elegant. It had twin headlights and a long flowing body that gave it a sense of motion even when standing still. Jaguar offered multiple engine options, including smooth inline-six engines and the powerful 5.3-liter V12. Despite its size, the car maintained a surprising sense of grace. What truly made the XJ special was its balance. It could glide through motorways effortlessly but still feel composed on city streets. Inside, it felt like a private lounge. Deep seats, wood trims, and soft materials made every journey feel important. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement of British engineering confidence. 8. Triumph 2000, 1970 to 1977. The Triumph 2000 was one of Britain's most important executive saloons during the 1970s. It represented accessible luxury for professionals and upper-middle-class families. Its design was clean and understated. There were no aggressive lines or flashy elements. Instead, it focused on proportion and elegance. The straight-six engine was not overly powerful, but it was smooth and reliable, which made it ideal for long-distance cruising. Inside, the cabin was spacious and practical. It didn't scream luxury, but it delivered comfort in a subtle way. The Triumph 2000 became popular because it offered prestige without excess. It was a car that said you had arrived in life, but did not need to prove it loudly. 7. Ford Granada Mk1, 1972 to 1977. The Ford Granada Mk1 was one of the most recognizable executive cars on British roads in the 1970s. It had a bold, slightly American-inspired design with a wide stance and strong road presence. Unlike some British cars of the time, it looked modern and confident. The engine lineup included smooth V6 units that made motorway driving easy and relaxed. It wasn't a performance car, but it felt stable and capable. What made the Granada special was its versatility. It was used by company executives, taxi services, and even police fleets. This meant it became a familiar sight across the country. For many people, the Granada defined what a modern car looked like in the 1970s. 6. Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, 1965 to 1980. The Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow was the ultimate symbol of British luxury in the 1970s. Its design was timeless. A long bonnet, upright grille, and perfect proportions made it instantly recognizable anywhere in the world. Under the hood, it used a smooth V8 engine designed for silence rather than speed. The goal was not performance, it was effortless motion. The suspension system made the car glide over roads as if it was floating. This created an experience that many called the magic carpet ride. Inside, everything was handcrafted. Real leather, polished wood, thick carpets, and absolute attention to detail defined the cabin. The Silver Shadow was not just a car. It was a status symbol of the highest order, driven by royalty, celebrities, and business elites. 5. Austin Princess, 1975 to 1981. The Austin Princess was one of the most unusual luxury cars of the 1970s. Its wedge-shaped design was radical compared to traditional British saloons. It looked futuristic, almost like something from a concept design rather than production. The interior was extremely spacious, thanks to its unique layout. It focused more on comfort and room than sporty performance. While the engine was not particularly powerful, the Princess was designed for relaxed cruising. People often had mixed opinions about it. Some saw it as ahead of its time, while others thought it was too unconventional. But today, it is remembered as one of the boldest design experiments in British automotive history. 4. Daimler Sovereign, 1972 to 1979. The Daimler Sovereign was essentially the more luxurious cousin of the Jaguar XJ. It shared the same platform but elevated the experience with added refinement and prestige. Inside, it featured upgraded wood trims, softer leather seating, and a quieter cabin experience. The engine lineup was smooth and refined, delivering the same balanced performance as a Jaguar but with more relaxed character. It was often chosen by individuals who wanted Jaguar performance, but with a stronger sense of tradition and luxury. The Daimler badge added an extra layer of exclusivity. 3. Rover SD1, 1976 to 1986. The Rover SD1 was one of the most forward-thinking British cars of the 1970s. Its design was inspired by Italian supercars, particularly Ferrari, which gave it a sporty fastback silhouette. It was a bold departure from traditional British saloons. Instead of conservative styling, it embraced modern, aerodynamic design. The car came with straight-six and V8 engines, giving it strong performance for its class. When it was launched, it won European Car of the Year, showing how highly it was regarded at the time. Despite later reliability issues, the SD1 remains an important symbol of British ambition in automotive design. 2. Bentley T-Series, 1965 to 1980. The Bentley T-Series was the more driver-oriented alternative to the Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. It shared many mechanical components, but had a slightly more responsive feel. The V8 engine delivered smooth and quiet power, while the suspension ensured a comfortable ride. Inside, the craftsmanship was exceptional. Everything was hand-finished with precision and attention to detail. Unlike Rolls-Royce, which was often chauffeur-driven, Bentley appealed more to owners who preferred to drive themselves. It represented understated luxury, powerful, refined, but never loud. 1. Jaguar XJ6 Series 2, 1973 to 1979. At number 1 is the Jaguar XJ6 Series 2, the defining British luxury car of the 1970s. It refined everything Jaguar had built over decades. The design was elegant, balanced, and instantly recognizable. The long bonnet, slim headlights, and smooth curves gave it a timeless presence on the road. Under the hood, it used Jaguar's famous straight-six engines, known for their smoothness and quiet operation. The driving experience was calm and composed. It didn't feel rushed or aggressive. Instead, it felt effortless. Inside, the cabin was a blend of luxury and simplicity. Soft leather, polished wood, and carefully designed controls made every journey feel special. The XJ6 became the standard for executive luxury in Britain. It was respected, admired, and widely used by professionals across the country. Even today, it remains one of the most iconic British saloon cars ever built. The 1970s were a defining decade for British luxury cars. It was a time when design, comfort, and identity mattered more than technology alone. These cars were not just machines on the road. They were part of everyday life, symbols of success, and reflections of a changing Britain. From Jaguar to Rover, from Bentley to Rolls-Royce, each car carried a story of ambition and craftsmanship. Today, they are mostly gone from the roads, but they still live on in memory as icons of a golden